Hello, lovely one. I am so glad you're here because I'm gonna share an absolutely beautiful new shawl design with you that's gonna completely take your breath away. And I'm gonna be showing you how to wind a beautiful center pull cake of yarn by hand. This incredible shawl is Ispirazione by Emily, and from the moment that I laid eyes on this, I was so inspired. From the size, the way that the colors play with each other, and all the beautiful delicate stitches, this one is truly a showstopper. And while this lovely design may look complex, you're actually gonna find that the stitch patterns repeat throughout the design, and the color changes are created mostly by marling yarn, which just means you hold two strands of yarn together. You're gonna begin this incredible design by starting here in the center with a garter tab cast on. And if you're unfamiliar with that technique, we do have tutorials on how to work that if you need a refresher. It creates a really smooth edge and it helps to maintain that garter stitch along the border. We then move into this lovely twisted rib, which is always such a beautiful stitch. And I think it's just gorgeous because the ribs really appear to pop off the background. After the twisted rib, we move into this beautiful star anise section. For this section, you're only gonna hold one strand of yarn, and that gives a really beautiful, delicate look to this stitch. Something to note, since you are only holding one strand of yarn for this part, you may need to go up a needle size just to ensure that your gauge stays consistent. Following the star anise, you're going to shift into this beautiful Japanese knit open work section. This stitch pattern resembles leaves swaying in the breeze, and I love how it ties in the twisted rib that we had at the beginning of the shawl. You'll then flow between this Irish mesh and the star anise, which are two beautiful stitch patterns that look very similar, but they are different. For the Irish mesh, you're going to notice that you hold the yarn double, and then for the star anise, you do hold it single. And this star anise section is where we're going to start changing colors. We'll be alternating them at first and then holding two different colors together as we ease back into the Irish mesh. And then we move back into the Japanese knit open work section for this gorgeous eye-catching part of the shawl. As I said earlier, there's a lot of repetition in this shawl. Once you learn a stitch, when you come back to visit it later, you're going to be able to work it with ease. And you can really see in this larger section how the leaves flow and meld into each other, shifting and changing colors as we cascade down the shawl. We finish off this design with the peaked lace border, and this border is actually worked perpendicularly to the body of the shawl. To make the border, you're going to start by casting on stitches, which will determine the final height of the shawl, and then you're going to work back and forth, eating up stitches of the body as you go. And to give this edge a romantic, lightweight flare that flows breezily in the wind, you will hold one strand of yarn throughout the border. And of course, you're going to want to block this amazing shawl when finished to really open up all of those gorgeous lacy stitches. Blocking pins for the point and wires for the edges would be a good choice for a crisp, defined look. This will truly become an heirloom piece that you can pass down to those that you love. And you never know, someday it may land in the hands of someone who didn't even know you. And they're gonna see this absolutely gorgeous piece and wonder who made it and what the inspiration behind it was. I think it would be really cool to keep a craft journal so that others could know your stories and why you created the pieces that you did. This shawl feels so buttery soft because we use our luxurious Alpaca Silk Lace yarn, which is creamy and it's delicious, and it has a stunning drape and flow. This kit is called Flyaway Hues, and I will be giving away one of these kits. To enter, just make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and comment below what inspired you to learn to knit. If you would love to download this pattern and get the yarn, you can do so at expressionfiberarts.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for email and text updates for weekly free knit and crochet patterns. Since you do need to hold your yarn double throughout much of this project, today I thought it would be fun to show you how to create a beautiful, professional center pull cake of yarn using just your hands, no equipment. That way you can pull from the center and from the outside whenever you need to. So when you get your yarn, it's gonna come like this in hank form, so you need to turn this into a ball or a cake. And for anyone wondering, this is November Nostalgia on our Dewy DK yarn, and we'll link below to it. You're gonna start by opening this up, and if you have someone that can hold it like this while you're winding, that's super helpful, but we'll just assume that you don't. So we're gonna go ahead and use a chair. So you wanna find your ties, and you wanna make sure that the yarn is completely opened up with all of the ties separate. So we're gonna go ahead and place it over a chair. Next, you're gonna find your ties. There will usually be 2, 3, or 4 on your hank of yarn. You're just gonna cut those and remove them. So this is the tie that's attached to the ends. So I just go ahead and cut all that out, pull that out, Now you're gonna find one of your ends and you're going to hold it here in your palm, give a little bit of a tail. This is what's gonna form your center pull. Go ahead and pinch those with these 3 fingers and then create a little lobster claw with your other fingers. Now you're gonna keep your lobster claw open and we're gonna start unraveling the yarn and wrapping around our open lobster claw. The reason I like to start open is because the tension's gonna increase as you go along, and so it gets really, really tight over time. So if you start a little bit open, then you can close up as you go along and it makes life a little easier. Then you're just gonna continue building a nice little base around your open lobster claw. Then you're gonna continue to do this until you get a little bit of a ball going. So you can see my little claw is starting to close just because there's so much tension with all this yarn. And so that's fine. We're gonna have a nice open middle and that's what we want. Now you could continue on in this manner until you've used all your yarn and you'll have a beautiful little ball. But I'm gonna show you how to make a little bit more of a professional looking cake. What you're gonna start to do now is wrap at this same angle. So starting down here and ending up here. So our cake is gonna kind of be flat on the top and bottom. So do a few passes like so, and then I'm gonna actually remove my thumb. Now we're gonna start to rotate. So I sort of hold the outside with my thumb, continue working that same angle, work a few passes, then you're gonna rotate, keeping that same angle going with the yarn. And you're gonna find that over time, it really just makes the most gorgeous little squat cake you've ever seen. Winding yarn is a wonderful chance to just be. I find myself normally filling every moment with audiobooks, music, videos, chatting with friends, and of course, that's also important and fun, but something as simple as winding yarn can be a great chance to simply be present in the moment with ourselves. I get the most incredible insights too when I take the time to just simply be. Something that came to me recently was, what is meant for me will be. And it has been such a calming stress reliever. Anytime I get flustered or worried, I just remind myself of that. If it's meant for you, it will be. And if it's not, forcing it won't produce any good. We walk the path we're meant to. Learning to allow is one of life's greatest challenges, yet most rewarding. We often feel such a need to control every little aspect of our lives, but letting go, being, observing, and allowing are powerful tools that bring us back to this moment, back to ourselves, our priorities, and who we wish to be. When uncomfortable emotions arise, I like to talk to them and say, oh wow, Shandy's feeling angry again. Or, wow, Shandy's feeling deep sadness. Isn't that magnificent? I'm alive on this planet and I'm getting to experience sadness. How incredible. It really shifts your perspective up and out of that feeling and back to the present, back to yourself, and back to what matters. I'm curious, have you tried recently to simply be? And what insights came to you? How did it make you feel? And here we have the most adorable center pull cake of yarn. So you can pull just from the outside, just from the inside, or both at the same time for when you need to hold your yarn double in your project. And the reason that I love a cake of yarn is because it is flat on the top and the bottom, so it will stay put and not roll around when you're pulling your yarn. Happy winding, my friend, and happy knitting. I hope you have an amazing time making this gorgeous shawl. Marvel in the beauty of this week, and I will see you next week with another new design. Bye!